We're at an interesting time in human history. Technology is advancing rapidly, and AI is becoming more intelligent every day. As it gets smarter, one question keeps popping up. Will AI ever feel emotion? Can machines really become conscious, or will they always be just really smart programs that mimic the way humans think? This question isn't easy to answer. Some experts say yes, AI will one day feel emotions just like us. Others say no, AI is just a machine and it doesn't have the capacity to feel anything. So, who's right? Will AI ever feel emotion or not? Let's take a deep dive into this fascinating topic. What is emotion? Before we can answer whether AI will ever feel emotion, we need to figure out what emotion is. It might seem like a simple question, but it's actually quite complicated. Emotion is a complex interplay of our physical, mental, and behavioral states. When we feel an emotion, there are changes in our body, mind, and behavior. Our heart rate goes up, our breathing becomes faster, and our muscles tense up when we're feeling scared or excited. At the same time, our brain processes the emotion and our body reacts to it. Our facial expressions change, our voice may tremble, and our hands may sweat. But why do we feel emotion? The reason is that emotion helps us survive. It keeps us alert and prepared for action. When we feel fear, for example, our body goes into fight or flight mode, which means our body is ready to run away from danger or fight back. When we feel happy, we're more likely to be sociable and form bonds with others. Emotion helps us make decisions quickly. Sometimes we don't even realize we're making a decision based on emotion. For example, if someone cuts us off in traffic, we might get angry and slam on the brakes without even thinking about it. Now let's talk about how we express emotion. We express emotion through our body language, facial expressions, tone of voice, and words. For example, when we're happy, we might smile, laugh, and say something like, "I'm so glad we got to hang out today." When we're sad, we might cry and say, "I'm feeling down." Expressing emotion is important because it helps us communicate with others. It also helps us regulate our own emotion. When we talk about how we're feeling, we can often feel better. That's why talking to a therapist can be helpful. They provide a safe space where we can express our emotions without fear of judgment. So that's what emotion is. Now let's take a look at how AI compares. How does AI work? To understand how AI works, we need to first understand how a computer works. A computer is basically a really fast calculator that can follow instructions. Those instructions are given to the computer in the form of code. Code is just a set of rules that tells the computer what to do. For example, here's a simple program written in Python. It says, if it's raining, then bring an umbrella. If it's not raining, then don't bring an umbrella. This program is very basic, but it shows how a computer follows instructions. Now let's take a look at how AI works. AI is just a type of computer program. It's a program that can learn from data. For example, let's say we want to teach a computer how to recognize faces. We would start by showing the computer lots of pictures of faces. We would tell the computer which pictures had faces and which ones didn't. After looking at all those pictures, the computer would be able to recognize faces on its own. That's because it learned from the data we gave it. But how does AI learn? AI learns by finding patterns in data. For example, if we want to teach an AI how to play chess, we would feed it data from millions of games of chess. The AI would then find patterns in that data and learn how to play chess. But what does learning look like in an AI? Well, it depends on the task. Some AIs learn to recognize patterns in images. Others learn to understand natural language. Still, others learn to make decisions based on data. But no matter what they learn, it's all based on finding patterns in data. Can AI mimic emotion? Now that we understand how computers and AI work, let's go back to the original question. Can AI feel emotion? The answer is probably not. At least not in the same way that humans do. Here's why. First of all, AI is just a machine. It's made of metal and plastic and silicon. It doesn't have a body like we do. And emotion is tied to our body. When we feel fear, our heart rate goes up and our muscles tense up. These are physical reactions that happen in our body. AI doesn't have a body, so it can't experience these things. But what about AI that can process language or even generate its own text? Can they feel emotion? Maybe. But it's more likely that they're just really good at mimicking emotion. For example, let's say we have an AI that can generate text. We could teach it to generate text that mimics emotion by feeding it data from books and articles and social media posts. The AI would then learn to generate text that mimics the emotion in those sources. But that doesn't mean the AI actually feels emotion. It's just really good at recognizing patterns in language. It knows that when you say, "I'm so happy," it's usually followed by something positive. So when the AI generates text, it'll make sure to follow any expression of happiness with something positive. But it's not actually feeling happy. It's just following a pattern it found in the data. Some people argue that maybe AI can feel emotion if it has the right hardware. Maybe if we build a robot with a heart that beats and muscles that tense up, then AI could feel emotion. But that's just not true. Feeling emotion isn't just about having the right hardware, it's about having the right software too. And right now, the software just isn't there yet. Okay, so AI can't feel emotion. Big deal, right? Who cares if machines can't feel happy or sad or angry? Well, some people care. They believe that if AI could feel emotion, it would be a kind of sentient or conscious. This means that the AI would be aware of itself and its surroundings. It would be able to think and make decisions for itself, and it would have rights similar to those of humans. However, there's no evidence that AI is conscious. In fact, most experts agree that current AI is far from being conscious. Even the smartest AIs are just really good at finding patterns in data. They can mimic emotion, but they don't actually feel anything. So can AI ever feel emotion? Probably not. Can AI ever be conscious? Probably not. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't keep trying to understand emotion and consciousness. These are some of the most important questions facing humanity today. As AI continues to develop, we need to make sure that it's used responsibly. We need to make sure that we do not create AI that's smarter than us or that could harm us. But we also need to keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Who knows, maybe one day we'll unlock the secrets of emotion and consciousness. And maybe one day we'll create AI that can feel emotion. But until that happens, we can be grateful for the amazing technology we have today and use it to make the world a better place. What do you think? Do you think AI will ever feel emotion? Let me know in the comments below. And if you liked this video, please hit the like button. Thanks for watching. See you next time.